Hello, hello, hello. Have you ever felt like you were in the Twilight Zone? I'm just telling you, I feel like I was in the Twilight Zone. Totally in the Twilight Zone. I'm like almost uncomfortable in the Twilight Zone. Okay. Anyway, we're doing a dual deck today, and happy Friday. Happy Friday, and it's our financial forecast for today or for this next coming week. And, let me just do some smudge. I'm just telling you, I just, yeah, I'm having some weird experience. I'm having a weird experience. Sometimes I don't think I'm in the right parallel when I'm doing one thing or another. And people go, oh, you believe in the parallels? Oh, heck, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I've been caught in the middle of two parallel lives, and it is not fun. We're using two decks today. We're using the career deck, and then we're using the money deck. And I had just, yeah, yeah, I just did a reading over there. Here, let me smudge you. And let me smudge me. And I'm like, maybe that reading was for me. I don't know, but I ended up like doing it on a channel that I normally don't ever use. And so I'm over here like on that. So I'm redoing this. Do me a big favor today. Love this video. Comment something cool. And then don't forget to share. So I've got two decks. We're doing a duel of the decks. So you get to choose the deck for today's reading. So this deck here is the one that is the career deck. Take a look at it. Does it scream at you? And then here is the finance deck, or the Angels of Abundance. Sometimes I feel guilty using this deck because Doreen Virtue doesn't like it when people use her decks. But I was like, they're pretty benign to me. I don't pick up any kind of real negative energy on them. So let's start with the career part. And let's just see. Okay, that one's sticking out, so we're going with that one. Okay, all right. Okay, so we got a couple of cards to start with. That one's sticking out. And anything else. Okay. Alright, so we've got a handful of the career cards. So if this was the deck that screamed at you, say yay. And let's start with it. Okay, yeah. Alright, so, interesting. Here's our first card. Our first card is Cultivation upside down. So in this particular reading, what I'm looking at here is that you're not really putting a lot of attention. Whoops. You're not really putting a lot of attention and focus to your work, to your job. It's kind of like being lackadaisical. And I'm going to say, but there's a reason that this is coming up. This is about being bored with what you do, not feeling connected with your work, and being very, I'm going to use disconnected. I want to say disoriented, but you're not really disoriented. You're just not there. You're not there. The lights are on. Oh God, the lights are on, but ain't nobody home when you go to work. Okay, I was like, that's kind of harsh. Now your obstacle has to do with that you don't feel like you have any kind of, what I'm getting is like freedom or the ability to grow, to use your talents and gifts. So you're kind of like put into a box per se, and all you can do is what's the box said you can do. You know, you can't go outside of the box. I almost have the phrase of, well, that's the way we always do things in my head, but it's kind of like nobody wants to change, and so you're not feeling the ability to change there. Now, this card here is our help, and the help card is perspective. And what I'm feeling on this is that sometimes you have to stand from a different point of view and look at the situation. And the flexibility card comes in next to that. So I'm going to kind of just set that right there. And let's talk about these two cards right here. This is about you kind of stepping outside of that box, whether they want you to step outside of the box or not. That you have to look at things from a different point of view or a different perspective and kind of start shifting into a different kind of perspective in the way that you've been doing things, being more flexible, changing direction. Being that you've been really, really bored at work, you became lackadaisical and not really doing what you need to be doing to have fruition or success there. So that's partial your fault on that. This is about you being flexible and start doing things in a different way. But actually what this is really leading you up to is it's about time for you to find a different path, a different way of working. And when I'm getting this is like, don't be hesitant to think that it's not appropriate for you to shine up your resume and start getting your resume out. Sometimes the universe, when we become very complacent and lackadaisical in what we're doing, universe brings that to our attention and we start feeling really suffocated at work. And it's not so much that the work is a bad place or that we're a bad place. It's that our work is done at that place. Hey, Robin, how are you? Our work is done at that place. And so when I see this make it work as the last card of deck A or of the career deck, we still have the money deck coming up. What I'm seeing in here is that you're probably going to be making a break away from where you work or what you're doing and doing something different, either whether in logistically in a different place or a different job, a different kind of work. And it is something that you're just not fitting where you are. You're not fitting emotionally. You've outgrown that space, but you yourself have been lackadaisical about moving on. And so now it's going to get a little bit on the uncomfortable side for you to change your point of view or perspective. So that was the career deck. So this is that duel of the decks day. You know, I'm kind of shooting off with two decks. I wanted to look at career and then a different perspective just to look at money. Sometimes, whoops, okay, we're already starting. I'm using the Doreen Virtue. Okay. Angels of Abundance. And I know Doreen Virtue just doesn't like people using her decks. And I'm like, you know, why didn't she just like buy her decks back from everybody? You know, if you don't want me using your deck, I'll buy it back. You know, I'm not going to go and throw it away. But at some point in time, you know, the decks will start to speak Mandarin Chinese. When, you know, and I always laugh, I can speak or kind of get through any language in the world except for Mandarin Chinese. And every once in a while, my decks will start speaking Mandarin Chinese, so I'll have to, like, get rid of that deck because I don't understand it anymore. So until then, as long as I can understand the deck, I'm keeping it. Sorry, Doreen. Oh, no, she kind of went from one extreme to another extreme, and I'm like, I get it. You know, it's kind of like, when, yeah, I'll be quiet. I got a little shh. All right. right, so come on. Abundance, angels of abundance, speak to us about cash and money. Okay. Don't forget to love my video. I'm trying to beat the odds with Facebook. Facebook makes me pay big money to boost it. And I'm like, Mark Zuckerberg, you're already rich. But I guess it does pay the salary for all the staff that works there. I do know a chick that works for Facebook. Or Meta. Meta, yeah. I always think that's kind of cool. All right, so we got a big old stash of cards from the Abundance deck. Does everybody have their drink or something to sip on? Because this is going to be a long one. Not real long, but long enough. Okay. So our first card is Gratitude List upside down. And I'm going to say, why are you focusing? Why are you focusing on the have-nots? Why are you putting effort and energy towards debt? Okay, because that's that first card coming out. It's talking about, okay, why are you hugging? Why are you giving debt a kiss? Why are you giving financial fear, a big hug? Why? Why? Because this card is over here. It's a little bit of a reprimand. And it's saying, why are you giving negative things your attention and your attention and your focus? Part of the problem right here, because this is your obstacle card, is that you haven't bothered to ask, and I'm using the phrase, you haven't bothered to ask for help, guidance, direction. Do you have the Financial Peace book by Dave Ramsey? And people go, it has Christian quotes in there. Okay, I don't care if it has Christian quotes in there. That's great, wonderful, okay. There are versions that don't have the little Christian quotes in there. So for people that are offended by scripture, Dave Ramsey still has a phenomenal product with his Financial Peace. It really gets us into a way of thinking about money and manifesting abundance, manifesting wealth, believe it or not. Now, I got something funny to kind of share with you, is that one of the, I guess he was the high priest of the Wiccan church, and I want to say in Kentucky. His name was Gavin Frost, and Gavin and his wife wrote a book. And I used to love reading their books because they were just really, really cool, really, really informative, and always had some really kind of interesting information. And that was back during my Wiccan days, many moons ago. Anyway, in one of their books, they talked about that if you had a problem learning how to bring abundance into your life, or living where you're constantly in a state of being prepared, and I'm like, God, I'm not trying to be like negative on that. They recommended that you join a Mormon church, and I'm like, what? Like, Mormon church, the Latter-day Saints, and being Wiccan, isn't that kind of like, deviant, like not part of it? But they would talk about that the Latter-day Saints work at being prepared for, I guess, Armageddon or whatever, and so that there's always a particular amount of money that's in the bank. They focus on having a particular amount of food stored back and things that they would need in case of, that kind of devastation going on. So what I'm saying here, or alluding to when I'm looking at this card, is that it's a good thing. It's appropriate to ask for guidance, to ask for direction. Like I said, I love Dave Ramsey. I think that he's got a really good program with that. Some people are, just not into his style, and I get it. But find a way to start thinking about abundance and getting yourself from going in financial fear to financial feast, where you're comfortable with the feel and the feel of money through there. All right, so here's our next card, and I'm giggle, 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 because this is our help card, and the help card is saying it's okay for you to receive. It's okay to say. So when somebody comes up with this really cool present for you, and I had one of my friends come up, and I saw him, in a session, and then we went out to eat, and they bring me a gift sometimes, and I'm like, kind of freaks me out when people bring me gifts, because I had a mind frame that I don't deserve I don't deserve gifts. And so I lived for a long time that the gifts just weren't part of my vibration. But, they bring me gifts, and it allows me to be open to receive, because I'm going to say this, that when we deny what people gift us or what people bring to us or people give to us, and we deny that, we in essence are, oh no, just read the notes in there about the left hand. But when we deny people gifting us things, that we are actually denying abundance, and we're putting a stop to that flow of abundance, that flow of money, wealth, abundance, sharing, that we all have a collective consciousness of giving and receiving. So be kind of think about those kind of things, But I love this little bowl. It's where I put it on my Mary table, and when I have things that I would like to have blessed, I put them in that bowl. So thank you to my friend Christy for bringing me those. But again, what is this card saying, beautiful people? It is okay for you to receive. It is perfectly appropriate for you to be open to receive blessings, and then pass those blessings on. Now, we've been talking about abundance, and we're getting this saying, do the work. And what is she doing, man? She's being a Taylor Swift. She's sitting back there, and I mean that in a good way. I mean that in a good way. Okay, when I talk about Taylor Swift, I'm not giving her a dog. I'm not dogging her hard. Taylor's kind of cool, so I mean that cool. So what is she doing? She's sitting back, and she's got her guitar, and she's probably writing a song. She's probably singing a song. She is probably creating. So that's what we're looking at in this card. It's asking you to be creative in the way that you put together or manifest your abundance. Sing your song. If you're singing songs about being broke, you're going to be broke. If you're singing songs about all the gifts that you receive, and having everything that you need at your fingertips, guess what? You're going to have all of those cool things at your fingertips. All right, so sing your song, write your song. Now, I love this because right now it says that obstacles and blocks are lifted. And in this, that means that all of that negative thinking that we've been having about, financial fear, I broke, my bills, I got more bills than I have cash, I have more I've got all of these bad negative things happening, and I'm overwhelmed that we haven't been paying attention to stuff. And what are we looking at? It's saying right now, okay, and I'm going to say it like this. This is like back in those old silent movies, and they would have the damsel in distress, and she's screaming, ah! And somebody comes by, and they slap her, and it stuns her for a moment, and she's like, ah! That's what this card is. This card is the universe slapping us, going, stupid, don't be silly, kind of. But it's taking away all those obstacles and blocks. It's going, no, those actually can be lifted, and we're lifting them now. So let's do some cool stuff. Let's clear your debts, because this is the card right here, and it's saying it's time to clear your debts. That also means releasing debts. Okay, so I am going to get a little churchy here for just a second. And you know, in the Lord's Prayer, it'll say, forgive us our debts as we forgive those who debt against us. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Start asking universe to forgive your debts. And then in turn, forgive the debts of others. Debts aren't always cash. Debts can be actions. Debts can be emotions. Forgive debts. Forgive your own debts and forgive the debts of others so that you may build up your abundance in there in a good, positive way. Ask for your needs to be met. You need to start speaking into existence what you want to create, what you want to have, what you want to feel. How much money do you need in your purse? And I'm also going to ask you this. Don't forget to give yourself an unlimited value, an infinite value, and then add tax to that. Because part of your debts has been thinking that you're not good or worthy enough to receive or to be in a place of abundance. And then finally, and I love this card at the very end, because what it is really truly saying to us here is that we cannot be speaking our insecurities, our fears, our lack into existence. We cannot complain about what we don't have, but let us start giving kudos. I'm going to use the word kudos. I like that word today. Let's start giving kudos to the things that we do have and that we are blessed with, and allow that to be the seeds of our abundance. So I hope you enjoyed this week's financial forecast. We did the dual, so I don't know. Let me know which one you resonated with, if you chose it beforehand or afterhand. I'd love to know. I'd love to get your feedback. This was the first deck, and that was the career deck. We focused on our workplace. And then this was the Angels of Abundance, the Doreen Virtue deck. And we focused on money and our abundance. So I hope you enjoyed them. Do me a favor. Love the video. Give it a heart. Not just a thumbs up, but give it a heart. Give it a heart. The more hearts that are on there, the better it gets into the algorithm. And then don't forget to give a cool comment, anything you'd like, and then share. So peace, love, and harmony, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend.